As the sun rises in the east, I walk towards it as an old sage that used to cover his eyes at the sight of it as a child. Without headphones, that same saxophonic beat rumbles through my mind as I stand on the same street corners with former ghetto hustlers, listening to their OG stories. On the corner where brothers used to sing songs like the Stylistics before they performed at the Apollo. And I watch the next generation of today's hip hop verses listening, respectfully waiting their turn to be grown when they can give those same versions of those same stories. I walk this desert in hopes of getting a chance to speak to the wise men that give worldly advice over chessboard pieces that are chiseled to look like the kings and queens we used to be when we were free, still giving elderly advice to those of who need to be. But notice how he still has on that same dashiki while speaking in Swahili. I walk next to a panther that only looks at me as we walk in pace, but it never growls, and lets the world know how powerful we really are, then disappears before I actually get to the corner. Walking past an empty park, I see the faces of the latest jazz tune, smiling at each other through the solo sound of a Zulu drum merged with mild, slow tunes as it merges with the laughter of elderly women that used to be maids that now share a sip of sun tea, while hopscotch double dutch receives the chuckles as groups of Quranic messengers sound as poetic as their tears begin to feed the souls of a people thought to be long forgotten. Walking past the honorable mention of the young street soldier's candlelight vigil, hoping that his life served as a message that it didn't have to be. You see, I want to be the melody in between the strum of the bass before the next string is touched by poetry. I want to sink words into that sound that you hear in between the keys of the piano that you can't wait to hear. I want to give hope to your soul under a kente sky, reminding young poets that dreams are not REM sleep auditions. I want to pour thoughts of positive possibilities into your consciousness while wiping away the tears in the bullseye off the foreheads, backs, and hearts of these whom we call our children. And as I hear the whispered words from the souls of our ancestors that paved these streets, I find myself tuning out the rest of the world as it whisks by, and I stand alone, listening to those old souls of our ancestors that guide me.